Okay, so we're working on the inverse of a matrix. So I've got on this page my matrix B, and I've got my calculator screen up because we're going to work this one out on the calculator. So first thing I'm going to do is have my blank page open, and I'm going to hit this button here and select that option there to add a matrix of my own size. So we can see we've got a 2-row, 2-column matrix, or 2 by 2. So I'm going to simply add 2 by 2. So number of rows 2, number of columns 2, and hit OK. So we should be familiar with this screen, and we're just going to fill out matrix B that's over here. So this matrix here, document it in here. So 2, 5, 7, 3, and then move to the right to outside our matrix. And we're going to hit Control var and label this matrix B and enter. And that will save it under the B. So anytime we want to perform any kind of calculation with our matrix B, we can simply use it out of our calculator like this. So first of all, what we want to do is find out if there is a determinant. If you remember, if the determinant equals 0, then there's no inverse. So first of all, I'm going to hit my menu button and then go down to matrix and vector. And then I'm picking the determinant function. So you can see I've got determinant, and I'm simply going to type in B and hit enter. So the determinant is -1. So that would mean that so the determinant of matrix B, which remember is AD minus BC, is equal to -1. So that's what we've gotten from that calculation. So then if we want to find the inverse, because there will be an inverse, remember, because we have a determinant, we're simply going to type in B to the power of -1. Because remember, that's what the inverse is. It's a matrix to the power of -1, and hit enter. So as you can see there, that's done all the calculation for us and given us the inverse. So I think now what we'll do is we'll take this example and work it through by hand to show that we've gotten the calculations correct on the calculator. Okay, so I've just made our screen big again, and I've just taken a little screen grab from the actual calculator. So let's go through and work this out. So it's saying that A times D minus BC is equal to -1. So let's work this through. So A is 2 multiplied by D, which is 7, minus 5 multiplied by 3. So 2 times 7 is 14, minus 5 times 3, which is 15. So 14 take 15 is -1. So yeah, correct calculation there. So let's go through now and do the actual work the equation for the inverse itself. So I'm going to clear this off now because we've found our determinant of -1. We've confirmed that. Okay. So remember, the inverse, which will be B is -1, will be equal to 1 over the determinant, which we said was -1, multiplied by D, so 7, so we need to take D, negative B, which so 5, we'll make that negative, negative C, and then A. So we need to take A down to this position. So then we're simply multiplying it through. So 1 over negative 1, of course, is negative 1. So negative 1 multiplied by 7 is negative 7. Negative 1 multiplied by negative 5 makes it positive 5. Negative 1 multiplied by negative 3 gives us a 3. And negative 1 multiplied by 2 will give us negative 2. When I'm pointing down to the negative 1, I'm not ignoring that it's a 1 over, but 1 over 1 is, of course, equal to 1, and we use our negative symbol from there. So we've got our answer there, and it does, in fact, match the calculator, just to show both calculator use and going through it by hand.